Hello guys, welcome into another Day by Day Live build video, and today we're gonna discuss or take a look into what I think is gonna become the next killer meta. As you know, 3 gens setups are being pretty much nerfed into oblivion, but now I think there's a wiggle room for other perks into the killer meta. Now some of this build I've been using previously. This is actually nothing really new, but now are more effective and needed than before. That's I think what is the different now, where it used to be a very good build, it will give you results, but it was not really necessary. As long as you will have your kicking gens perk, you will dominate pretty much if you have a 2-gen setup. But now with the regression nerf, you will need other tools to pretty much either prolong the match or prevent survivors from healing, and possibly you're gonna reach to end game very often, especially with good survivor. Now let's start with the first perk. It's gonna be corrupt intervention. It's still good, it always been good, and even with the nerf, what people don't realize is that corrupt intervention prevents people to start the match and prevents survivors to start working on gen as soon as they spawn in. Most of the time the survivor will spawn next to a gen, they start working on it, and if you don't have anything to block those gens, then if you take quite long to either find a survivor to start chasing, or possibly taking longer than usual in a chase, those survivors are gonna be working on those gens while you're chasing someone and getting them down. So the corrupt intervention is key. Now it's like a must perk if you want to perform in any match. Not only this is gonna prevent survivors from start working right away on gens, but also it's gonna bring survivors to you when you start the match, because all the gens that are blocked are the farthest from where you spawn into the map. So it's gonna help you to pick out the chase really quickly, so then hopefully you get a scorch to get pain resonance. If you are able to get a pain resonance before the first gen pops, you're already ahead of the game. So pain resonance is gonna be, I think, the best gen perk besides deadlock. If you don't like dealing with the RNG element of this perk, then the next perk or run up will be deadlock, so that's another great option. And then no way out. Like I mentioned before, gen regression has been nerfed, so most likely if you are dealing with efficient survivors, there's a high chance that you're gonna end up on endgame. There's a high chance. Most of my matches, when I'm dealing with very good survivors, I end up being on the endgame. And this is gonna help you to stop, assuming that you get, the 4 tokens. And by the way, it kind of synergizes with pain resonance change, because you have to get 4 different survivors in order to get the 4 tokens. And this is gonna give you a minute where potentially you can get 1 kill or the 4k, pretty much, depending how depending how the survivors are, if they are injured or they're on their hook or whatever the case is. To be fair, no way out always been a good perk, but before it was not really necessary because of the 3-gen setup. Most people were just pretty much delaying the game to a point where it was not really needed, because previous survivor will give up, or they cannot really compete with their gen regression perks that was in the previous meta. Now the 4th perk is gonna depend what kind of killer you are playing. If you are playing like N1 killer, Sloppy Butcher is definitely a must. It's making a difference now. Definitely it's gonna come really clutch with the making nerfs. So any kind of perk that will give you ammo rush and mango is gonna definitely help. So the 4th perk is gonna depend which kind of killer you are playing. If you are playing, for example, here Wraith, he's an N1 killer, so Sloppy Butcher makes more sense. It's gonna definitely help to keep survivor injured. With the making nerfs, it's definitely more noticeable now, especially survivors are trying to heal by themselves with a medkit, and you catch them, they're pretty much gonna lose that medkit unless they have really good add-ons on the medkit. So Sloppy Butcher or any type of perk that would delay the healing is gonna be crucial. And there's other section of killers that have add-ons that they already include Hammer Rush and Mango. As an example here, Artist, I'm been using the Thorniness because I go for snipes, and usually I'm very good with it and hindering survivor with my power. So this opens up a space to add another perk that you feel like is gonna help you during the match. Any aura reading definitely would help. knowing where survivors are when you are in a match is really important as a killer, because it saves you from wasting time. You can squeeze any auto reading perks if you prefer. Otherwise, you're using a killer that it doesn't have N1, or usually don't rely on the N1, like for example here Pyramid Head, then the next running up will be Scorchhook's Gift of Pain. Not only gonna grant Hemorrhage and Mango, but also if the survivor decides to heal, it's gonna receive a penalty until injured again. The only bad thing is that it's a Scorchhook. However, we have Parent Resonance here, so pretty much you're gonna try and aim for the Scorchhooks. And even when the Parent Resonance tokens are depleted, you still have a reason to find Scorchhooks for survivors. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the solid beta right now, and I've been using this setup on most of my killers, and it's giving me good results. I feel you can still venture for other builds, but you have to be extremely efficient, and you have to take into account the map that you're playing, the killer that you're playing, and what kind of survivor you're also facing. So there's a lot of stuff to take into consideration. But if you want to make your life as a killer less stressful, I think this setup is gonna help you to pretty much feel comfortable during a match. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and also leave a like. It will definitely help. I stream on Twitch every night, mainly DBD, and feel free to also follow me there. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.